Now they started up the internet again, and they said that they are going to start work at 9 o'clock. Something happened with their electrical system and whatever. Anyhow, so yeah, they're not turning it on by 9 p.m. They're going to shut it off at 9 p.m. So I have a little bit of time right now. All right. Haribol. Where were we? Okay, I was just reading the translation to the song we're about to sing. I'm not sure when the internet stopped working, but I'm going to, yeah, we have 45 minutes to do this program now. So maybe we won't do lead and response. Let me just read again the translation. Oh Hari, when will I recognize who is a Vaishnav? The lotus feet of the Vaishnav are a mine of all auspiciousness. I will become maddened by holding them within my heart. The worshipful Vaishnav is always transcendental, without faults and full of bliss. He has deep affection for Krishna's name. He is indifferent to mundane affairs, and he melts with compassion for the living beings. The Vaishnav is free from false ego, expert in bhajan, and detached from sense objects. He is free of duplicity, internally and externally. He is filled with loving attachment to the Lord's eternal pastimes. There are 3 types of Vaishnavas, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam, and they are distinguished by their characteristics. I have heard from authorities that one should give affection to the Kanishta Vaishnav, offer respectful obeisances to the Madhyam Vaishnav, and fully serve the Uttam Vaishnav. When I recognize Vaishnavas according to their qualifications and thus duly honor them, I shall certainly receive their mercy, which is the source of all success. Bhakti Vinod never speaks to those who out of envy criticize the ever-pure character of Vaishnavas. Instead, he always remains silent. Yeah, Rup Manjari, I think I didn't say my message clearly. The guy's going to shut down the internet at 9 p.m. He's just opening it up a little bit for me so that, but then at 9 p.m. they're going to shut it down so they can work on some electrical things. I just totally ripped into him. I was on the phone and I just I kind of lost my cool a bit. Anyhow, okay. Hakabe mohi Vaishnava chinibo Hari Hari. I'm just going to sing it through, not lead and response, because we only have 45 minutes before they shut down the internet again. Vaishnava charan kalyane rakhane mati bahe daye dhari kabe moye Vaishnava chinibo Hari Hari. Vaishnava Thakura Aprakrita Sada Nirdoshaya Nandama Krishna Name Prita Jade Udasina Jivete Dayardra Abhimanahin Bhajane Praveen Vishayete Anasakta Antare Bahire Nishkapata Sada Nitya Lila Anurakta Anitya Lila Anurakta Akabe Muhi Vaishnava chinibo Hari Hari. Kanishta Madhyam Uttama Prabhede Vaishnava Trividha Gani कनिष्ठे आदर मध्य में प्रणति उत्तमे शुश्रूषा शुनि जय जेनु वैष्णव चिनिया नहिया आदर करि बजाबे वैष्णवेरा कृपा जाहे सर्व सिद्धि अवश्य पाइब तबे अवश्य पाइब तबे ओ वैष्णवेरा कृपा जाहे सर्व सिद्धि अवश्य पाइब तबे अवश्य पाइब तबे ओ वैष्णव चरित्र सर्वदा पवित्र जिनिंदे सकोरी ओ वैष्णव चरित्र सर्वदा पवित्र जिनिंदे सकोरी ओ भक्ति विनोद न संभाषे करे भक्ति विनोद न संभाषे करे थाके सदा मौन धरे थाके सदा मौन धरे ओ भक्ति विनोद न संभाषे करे थाके सदा मौन धरे थाके सदा मौन धरे कबे मुहि वैष्णव चिनिब हरि हरि कबे मुहि वैष्णव चिनिब हरे हरे ओ वैष्णव चरण कल्याण रखनी वैष्णव चरण कल्याण रखनी माति बरे दये धरे माति बरे दये धरे जय वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर. Let me make sure this is still going. Okay, it's still going. Hopefully he will stay true to his word and he'll shut it down at 9 p.m. and it will be smooth until then. Let's see. Okay, Mahādeva, Śiva, and Sati's sacrifice. Let me take off this mridanga though, 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. From the Heart of Krishna by Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. King Daksha blasphemed the topmost Vaishnav Śiva by not inviting him to a royal sacrifice. The Srimad Bhagavatam tells the story of how Vishnu, the Supreme Godhead, refused to grace Daksha's yajna. Shiva's devoted wife Sati could not refuse Daksha's invitation because he was her father, so she attended despite her husband's disapproval. At the assembly, her father began to publicly malign her husband. She was deeply pained and thought, feeling sentimental, I ignored my husband's warning and came to my father's house only to be tormented by hearing blasphemy against an elevated Vaishnav. Shame on me 1,000 times. I don't know what to do. I cannot continue to live in this wretched body of mine, which was conceived by my blasphemous father. I will abandon it and purify my soul by bathing in my godly husband's feet dust. She then addressed her father Daksha. My Lord Shiva is dear to all living beings. He loves everyone. He has no enemies. To such a godly personality, you alone could behave in such a despicable manner. A saintly person's nature is not to overlook others' faults, and only appreciates their good qualities. But an envious person... Oh, this is still her speaking. They put the double quotation marks there, so it's sorry. So a saintly person's nature is to overlook others' faults and only appreciate their good qualities. But an envious person like you sees even the good qualities of others as faults. The Madhyam Adhikari Vaishnava properly discriminates between good qualities and bad qualities. The Uttam Adhikari The Uttam Adhikari discovers everyone's smallest good qualities and praises them as if they are traits of greatness, whereas a fool decries a great personality who possesses all divine qualities. The nature of fault finders is to only look for others' faults. They disregard the many good characteristics in others and attempt to portray them as shortcomings. Ants will search for little holes and cracks, even in a beautiful gem-studded temple. Such people are like sieves who conveniently overlook their own 1,000 perforations, but ridicule a pinhole and try to magnify it. I don't know what a perforation is, but I don't have a dictionary on here. Anyways. A saintly person is free from fault finding. The Chaitanya Charitamrita defines a first-class Vaishnava as Uttam hoya Vaishnava habe nirabhiman, jive saman dive jani, Krishna adishtan. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya 20:25. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and respects everyone, knowing that Krishna is within them. Whoa, I can't believe they just put the Gayatri mantra in there. Anyone who limits his concept of the self to the body, mind, or intellect is deluded. It is not surprising that such fools malign exalted persons. However, elevated souls calmly tolerate all blasphemies hurled against them. They are undisturbed by praise or criticism, honor or dishonor, although their followers, who are like particles of pollen clinging to their lotus feet, never tolerate blasphemy. They want to destroy the offenders. I think this is all still her speaking. The two syllables forming the name Shiva, Shi, and Va are so auspicious that by their mere utterance, all auspiciousness and evil is removed. Shiva's instruction is law, and his pastimes are most holy and glorious. Therefore, only an envious fool could even think of criticizing the best friend of all living beings. Daksha responded, You have described the sublime characteristics of saints and warned against fault finders and finding faults in others. But what about me? I am a Brahmin, even as a Prajapati, a progenitor. I am worshipped by everyone. I am your father and should be highly respected by you, my daughter. Do you think criticizing me is not an offense? Sati replied, How can you, an enemy of Shiva, speak of blasphemy? As a party to this heinous offense, I should kill you. But by not doing so, I am worsening my own offense. So, dear devotees, please hear the instruction of the scriptures in this regard. Karnopi daya niraya dyadakalpa ishe dharma vitarya srinibhirasya chindyat prasahya drushatim asatim prabhushchej jivam asun apitato visrijet swadharma. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.17. Upon hearing blasphemy of the Lord, one should plug their ears and go away if they are unable to punish the blasphemer. But if one is not in a position to enforce corporal punishment, then they should give up their very own life. Wow, that is heavy. In his commentary to the shloka, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, in the ancient times of India, the Kshatriya dharma, or rights and responsibilities of the military class, dictated that a Kshatriya was empowered to punish blasphemers. The other classes of Vedic society, Brahman, Vaishya, and Shudra, were not permitted to mete out physical punishments. So the Vaishnavas, the merchants, and the Shudras, the workers, as a reaction to hearing blasphemy, may give up their lives. It is not right for a Brahman to give up his life, and so he will cover his ears, chant the name of Vishnu, and leave the company of the blasphemer, feeling deeply saddened. Since Vaishnavas are at least equal to the Brahmins, they will follow the Brahman code. Srila Jiva Gosvāmī writes in his Bhakti Sandarbha in the context of Sadhu Ninda, the first of Nam Aparads. To even hear Vaishnav Ninda is damaging. The Bhagavatam states, Nindam Bhagavata Shringvangs Tat Parasya Janasya Va Tato Na Paiti Yasopi Yati Yadha Sukrit Tachchuta. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.74.40. Any person who, on hearing blasphemy against the Supreme Lord or his devotee, does not leave that unholy place, is implicated in the offense and loses all sukriti, all spiritual merit. Wow, that is heavy. And it's only by sukriti that we get to, the opportunity to have the association of Vaishnavas and have faith in the Vaishnavas. That all comes by sukriti. So if we don't leave that place, then we'll lose faith in the Vaishnavas and we'll never get their association. It's so dangerous to hear any blasphemy against a devotee or the Lord. The instruction to leave the place of offense is solely directed at those who are weak. Those who are strong and powerful must retaliate. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada writes in his purport of Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.17, the Brahmins are the gurus of the entire Varnashram society. The Brahman's guru is the Vaishnava Acharya, are the spiritual preceptor and protector of Vaishnava theology. At the first sign of blasphemy against an Acharya, it is one's duty to leave. One is not in an appropriate position to enforce corporal punishment. He should give up his body, feeling unbearable distress and shame. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says that not only is the Vaishnava Aparadis association to be strictly avoided, but also the associates of Vaishnava Aparadis. Wow, that's really a big one. We shouldn't even associate with anybody who associates with the Vaishnava Aparadi. Sati, the exalted wife of the greatest Vaishnava, Lord Śiva, she continued, I can't stand living in this rotten body born from your seed. If one mistakenly drinks poison, doctors recommend vomiting. My poisoned body needs to be rejected and burnt. You are so vile. I don't know what it says there. You are so vile, and I am ashamed to be your daughter. My husband addresses me as Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha. When I think of that, and how that name binds me to you, I feel disgusted and my heart breaks. I want to kill myself. Sati suddenly went into a deep meditation, and by her mystic power, left her body. Shocked, everyone began to wail, while Daksha remained silent. Sati's bodyguards prepared to kill him. The powerful sage Bhrigu, seeing the attacking guards advancing, chanted a potent mantra and offered oblations into the sacrificial fire. Out of the fire arose hundreds of powerful ribus, heavenly warriors, armed with magical weapons who disseminated the bodyguards. Outnumbered by the superior warriors, Sati's guards fled in all directions. Meanwhile, Narad Muni, who was observing the entire incident by mystic vision, went to Lord Śiva and told him everything. Lord Śiva, in a fit of rage, tore a hair from his head and dashed it onto the ground. The hair morphed into a monstrous warrior named Virabhadra, who bowed in deep reverence to his master and prayed for instructions. Śiva said, "You are my anger. Destroy Daksha." Virabhadra immediately raced to the sacrifice and arrested Daksha. He tore Bhrigu Muni's mustache off. Off his face because he had twirled it while derisively laughing at Lord Śiva. Virabhadra slammed Bhagadev to the ground and ripped his eyes out because Bhagadev had encouraged Daksha by winking at him while he was insulting Lord Śiva. And because Pusha had smiled, baring his teeth while Śiva was being abused, Virabhadra knocked his teeth out, just as Balaram had done to Dantavakra. Then Virabhadra sat on Daksha's chest and severed his head. Virabhadra threw the bloody head into the sacrificial fire as an oblation and set the whole arena on fire. Then he called for Shiva's soldiers and left for Kailash. Any sacrificial ceremony in which there is blasphemy of a pure Vaishnav will face the same destruction. The sacrificial priest and the attending gods, all severely wounded, reverentially approached Brahma and narrated the gory episode to him. Brahma and Sri Narayan had stayed away from Daksha's sacrifice, knowing beforehand the terrible outcome. Brahma patiently heard their pleas and advised, "Those who vilify a powerful personality and then desire to live in peace will find their lives extremely inauspicious. You have offended Śiva, who is a recipient god of the sacrificial oblations. You must be sincerely remorseful and throw yourselves at his feet. He is Ashutosh, very easy to satisfy, so try to please him. When he is angry, he is capable of destroying the entire universe. He has been deeply hurt and enraged by the death of his beloved consort. I see no recourse other than sincerely begging forgiveness at his lotus feet." Brahma then led Indra and the other gods to Lord Shiva's abode, Kailash. One second, just making sure it's still working. Okay, it is. Okay, so Brahma then led Indra and the other gods to Lord Shiva's abode, Kailash. They found him sitting under a tree and meditating on the Supreme. They offered the respectful obeisances to Śiva, who reciprocated. Brahma prayed and begged him to excuse Daksha and to find a way to complete the yajna. He further pleaded with him to forgive the other gods who were a party to the heinous crime, and to heal the maimed and wounded guests. Śiva was appeased by Brahma and the gods. By his mystic power, he placed a goat's head on Daksha and brought him back to life. And the others who were wounded were also healed. Śiva accompanied them to Daksha's sacrificial arena, where Daksha fell at his feet and begged for mercy. The yajna resumed, Narayan came to receive oblations, Śiva and Brahma were worshipped and they received the remnants of the sacrificial offerings. Daksha's yajna was completed. In time, Sati reincarnated as Parvati, the daughter of Menaka and Himalaya, and married Śiva again. By hearing the sacred tale of Śiva, who is the crest jewel among Vaishnavas, we advance on the path of devotion. Whew. My God, that is a heavy pastime. Any person who, upon hearing blasphemy against the Supreme Lord or his devotee, and who does not leave that unholy place, is implicated in the offense and loses all sukriti, all spiritual merit. Wow, okay. Okay, we have 20 minutes now. I'm feeling inspired to do it right now. I'm not sure. I said that you guys can pick which kirtan I do after but this time I want to pick this one because there's a kirtan I think would be very appropriate. Let me find it. How does it go? Nira Dharmagata. Nira. There it is. This is the kirtan I always like to turn to whenever I feel I've made an offense to a Vaishnav. This is the one I like to take shelter of, this kirtan here. This is based on the verse by Śrīla Gosvāmī, the 6th verse of Upadeshamrita. Drishtrai sabhava janatar vapushashtra doshar na prakritatam iha bhakta janasya pashyat gangam vasam na kalu bud budupena pankar brahmadravatam apagachati nira dharmai. And the translation of that verse is in this song also. Let's see. So, O Hari, mud and foam may be observed in the waters of Jahnavi, the Ganges, who possesses an aqueous nature. But the nature of liquefied transcendence never leaves those waters. Similarly, the body of the Vaishnava is always transcendental. From any perspective, his nature and body are never mundane. As such, one who criticizes him falls into consummate heresy. I don't like this word heresy. Falls into adharma, however you translate adharma. Into God. Anyways, you know the word adharma, the opposite of dharma. So anybody who criticizes him falls into... anyways. For that offense, the soul perpetually receives suffering from Yamaraj. O Nandanandan, may I not be destroyed by such an offense. Your Vaishnavas are your glory. May they be merciful. Then my journey will lead to you, and I will attain the shade of your lotus feet. Your Vaishnavas are your glory. Tomar Vaishnav Vaibhava Tomar. May they be merciful to me. Amare Karuna Doya. Then my journey will lead to you. Tabe Moragati, my journey, Habe Tava Prati, will lead to you. Pabo, I will get. Tava, your Padachaya, your feet shade, the shade of your lotus feet. Let me just check the internet still working. Okay, it is. Hari he nira dharma gata ajana visalile panka pena drishta hoy. Hari he nira dharma gata jana visalile panka pena drishta hoy. Athatapi kokon Brahmadrava dharma, tatapi kokon Brahmadrava dharma se salilo nacharo, se salilo nacharo. Vaishnava sharira aprakrita sada sabhava vapura dharme. Vaishnava sharira aprakrita sada sabhava vapura dharme. Akabo nahe jara tatapi jeninde pore se vishama dharme, pore se vishama dharme. Akabo nahe jara tatapi jeninde pore se vishama dharme, pore se vishamadhane sheya parade jamera jatana pai jiva virata sheya parade jamera jatana pai jiva virata Oh he nanda nandana sheya parade he nanda nandana sheya parade jeno nahi hoy hata jeno nahi hoy hata oh he nanda nandan sheya parade jeno nahi hoy hata jeno nahi hoy hata tomar Vaishnava Vaibhava tomar amar karuna daya tomar Vaishnava Vaibhava tomar amar karuna daya tabe mora gati habe tava prati tabe mora gati habe tava prati pavo tava pada chaya pavo tava pada chaya tabe mora gati habe tava prati pavo tava pada chaya pavo tava pada chaya Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.